Hi you guys, welcome back. My name's Liz. I'm the owner of ebizwithliz.com, and if you guys have been there before, you will see that it's filled with a bunch of free resources and tools. I put all of the tips I've learned over, the time I've spent on my FBA business, and a bunch of free tools that I've either created or found along the way that I'm using very regularly. So today we are going to introduce a new tool that I have came up with. It is the supplier comparison table, and I am currently sourcing a new product to add to my Amazon account, and I have had a lot of trouble keeping track of all of my suppliers. As you guys know, if you have already started looking for a supplier, or if you've already done it before, you know that keeping track of the suppliers you like, the suppliers you don't like is really challenging, because Alibaba, even though it's a great platform to talk to a lot of suppliers, it is not very user-friendly. You're scrolling through a ton of messages trying to see what you guys already talked about, what prices they gave you, other information that is important. And if you put that all in one central spreadsheet, you can see all of your information, you can see all the quotes you've been given so far, and you can make more strategic decisions, and you can also negotiate with your suppliers better. So we are just going to start out by talking about the benefits of using this table. So I already brought it up, negotiation. Negotiation is one of the most important parts of your FBA business because you have direct control over it. You want to create the largest margins for your product, and this is the only time you can do that. Well, it's not the only time, but it is the first initial time where you are kind of setting the standard for what your margins will be for your product. And you never want to take your supplier at face value for the price that they give you. So if they're quoting you at 60 cents, I would try and work it down closer to 40 cents. But this tool also allows you to look at all of the supplier quotes that you've received and see what the range is and try and match the lowest price that you've received as the quote, if not go down farther. So don't ever take it for face value, first of all. And then this also helps you get a good idea if you are paying a good fair market price. So let's say that you need to create a mold for a product you're building. And one supplier is quoting you $1,000. The supplier you want to work with, you like them the best, you think they have really high quality product, but the mold is insanely expensive. It's like $1,000, and you are seeing other suppliers quote you like $500 for a similar or the same mold. So I would take that information that you've plugged into your table after talking to your multiple suppliers, and I would go back to the supplier that you want to work with and say, hey, I have received a bunch of quotes. I really want to work with you. I think your product is superior to other ones that I've seen. I like that your company has been around for a long time. You seem like a very stable company and with great lead times and everything like that. But I am noticing that your mold is extremely overpriced in comparison to the market. Is there any adjustments you can make? And those are the keywords. Are there any adjustments you can make in price? I put that at the end of almost every email during negotiation, and 9 times out of 10, they bring the price down lower. And it just seems to be the magic words for me, so if you want to give that a try, go ahead and let me know if it works for you. But pretty much in those types of negotiation emails, you need to outline what you are seeing wrong with the price, why you are seeing it wrong, and how you can help me. I would just be very clear on that. I wouldn't beat around the bush. Just ask them what can they do for you, because at the end of the day, they do want to work with you, but they are, trying to kind of inch it, see how far they can take you before you give in. So, be very clear on your expectations on pricing, and, don't fall into something that you are uncomfortable with. Okay, and there are a few other things I want to talk about on the table before we get into the actual table. So shipping is going to be included in the table. And a recommendation that I've put out before is you can put out a RFQ, a request for quote, for a freight forwarder. So if you don't have a freight forwarder, you can put one out on Alibaba and you will get a lot of quotes. But what I have found is that sea shipping is $1 to $2 per kilogram. Shipping by slow air, so I think it takes like 11 to 14 business days, that is $4 to $6 per kilogram. And then shipping by fast air, which is 5 to 8 business days is 6 to 8 kilograms. $6 to $8 per kilogram. Sorry about that. So, depending on how quickly you want to get your product, I always recommend, since this is a test order, treat it like a test product, and you do not need to rush it in there unless it's a seasonal product, but I wouldn't even go for that. But I always recommend, with your first order, take that extra month that it takes to get to Amazon and keep learning the business, you guys. There is no rush at this point, and you are just dipping into profit margin greatly by spending $6 to $8 versus $1 to $2. So don't do fast air shipping if you don't need to. That's only if you are like out of inventory, you are losing rank very quickly. That's the only time I would ever recommend it. But don't do it if this is your first product. So I just wanted to give you guys those numbers before we jump into the table. I have the shipping row in the table set at $1.20. So if you receive a quote higher or lower than that, you can adjust that. I just wanted to point that out. I also have an area for inspection. So inspections cost about $100 to $300 depending on how intricate your inspection needs to be. So all you need to do is insert your inspection cost. So let's say it's $200. I take the $200 in the table and divide that by the total number of units that you are ordering, and that's how I spread it. I spread it by per unit. So everything in the table is per unit pricing, and you will see that in the table. So let's stop talking. You guys are going to see this all in the table. I just wanted to explain a few of those things. Okay, so to download the supplier comparison table, you just want to go to ebizwithliz.com/tools, or you can click on free tools at ebizwithliz.com. And then just scroll down, and I have linked it as the third tool, supplier comparison table. Just go ahead and download that. And then this is the table, essentially. So we are just going to go over the metrics on the table. So first of all, I just want to point out that I have already nailed down who my actual product supplier is. That's why the price is the same across the board, because right now I am just comparing different packaging suppliers, which is why you see that this price is different. This is the quote that they've given me on packaging, and I'm still working on it with them, but I just wanted to point that out so that there's less confusion. So if you were just initially sourcing a product, this is what you would be editing. You might not have this filled out yet, or you could have it filled out with kind of a estimated cost, but you essentially want to figure out what your product price is, then your packaging price, and then lastly your shipping price. And if you have any other variables that you might need to add, you can just insert a row and add them to the total cost per unit. But I just wanted to add that in real quick so there's less confusion. So, and next I want to go over these additional variables because these are things you'll need to fill out. So, shipping at $1.20 per kilogram. That's what I've quoted you guys at. So let's say that your price is more expensive for shipping. Let's say you want to get it out quicker. You'll want to edit this right here so that whatever your price per kilogram is, you'll insert that right there. So next you will want to take your total weight of your product plus packaging, and we are going to estimate our weight per unit in kilograms. So this will be 1 unit in kilograms. I hope that makes sense. So you can just use a conversion table like the one I've linked right here. So if you know your product's weight in grams or in pounds, you just want to convert that to kilograms. But this is just for 1 unit. And then so input that right there, and then it will take this number times $1.20 and calculate your per unit shipping cost. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but gray are fields that you will not be editing. You will only be editing orange fields. You do not want to touch these because these are all embedded formulas for you guys to use to make the table much easier. So the next thing is packaging. Like I said, I'm comparing packaging prices right now. So I've received quotes from all of these people, plus a lot more, but I've weeded out a lot of people. So these are just my main packaging suppliers that I'm looking at right now. And I wanted to put it in a table because it's hard to keep track of all of your quotes on Alibaba, because you want to keep it in a central location so you know what quotes you've received and if there's any adjustments you can make in pricing. So I have all of their quotes right here. And then let's talk about the next variable that we're going to be going over, which is inspection. I highly recommend you get an inspection with every product that you are launching and almost every order. If you've been ordering from them for a long time with absolutely no problems with your inspections, I wouldn't worry about it so much, but you should definitely be getting inspections for brand new products. Right over here is the field that you will be editing for the inspection row. So let's say that your inspection costs $150. Each unit, it will cost 30 cents per unit for the inspection, essentially, because we are breaking down this entire row, or this entire column, by unit. Not by total price, but by unit. So next we have total cost per unit, which is $1.19 for all of this. And then, all the prices are different per each supplier because of this variable that was changed. And then we will go to total units. It depends on how many you're ordering. In this case, I'm ordering 1,000. And then this is the total amount that I will be paying to start this product line up. And then referral fee and FBA rate. You can find Amazon fees right here if you are not familiar. This is something you absolutely need to account for to make sure your product is profitable. So you can go ahead and look up your product under Amazon fees right here. This is also another variable number that you can control. So this is your list price. So I'm going to be listing this product for $18.50. Let's say. So I changed that, and it just changes it across the board. I've already embedded that. And you can obviously edit this so it doesn't change across the board. And you can also compare like different list price to see what your optimal net profit is, or what your launch price might be versus your normal price, to get a good idea on if it's going to be a profitable product. So you can also edit this. So next we'll go down into this section, and I have just color scaled this section to make it easier for you guys to see what is your most profitable supplier to go with. So in this case, green is the best and red is the worst. And you can kind of tell based on, the price of the packaging is really high compared to this price of packaging. And so color scaling is just a conditional formatting, and you can, find that right here under color scales. I highly recommend using that if you've ever seen any of my other videos. But it just takes a range of data and then scales it from like high to low or low to high depending on what your needs are. So my net profit. So my profit per unit is going to be $10. My total profit, which this number is not going to be correct because we are not accounting for advertising, we're not accounting for launch prices, so this is not going to be my actual number. This will be my number after I've launched, and once I'm getting organic sales, like this will be my profit for organic sales, but this will not be my total net profit because you have to consider advertising and launching. So just make sure that you are taking that into consideration with your own product. This is my return on investment, and then my total revenue, which doesn't mean anything really, and then my margin. So this is a number that you will want to pay attention to, especially when you are trying to maintain your ACoS in your PPC campaign. This is not a number you want to follow when you're launching, but it's kind of a good number to keep in the back of your mind when you're trying to maintain your advertising campaigns. A few other notes I wanted to make is if you have more suppliers you need to add, all you need to do is insert another column. With all the embedded formulas, you just want to go ahead, highlight them, click this little arrow at the bottom, and drag the formula over. So you'll be doing that with all of the gray formulas. And also, if you want to add any variables, you will go ahead and add them right here, and make sure you just add them to the total cost per unit. All right, you guys, I hope this made a little bit more sense. If you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments below, and I will get back to you ASAP. All right, you guys, I hope you found this table very helpful. You can go ahead and download it at ebizwithliz.com/tools. It's completely free to you. And if you are sourcing a product for your first time on Amazon, or your second or third, whatever it might be, if you're sourcing a product, leave a comment below and let me know how it's going. I know it's a very long process, you know, wheeling and dealing with your supplier, but take your time, make sure you are comfortable with the prices you are paying, and you know, everything will sort itself out. Do not push yourself into working with a supplier you don't trust. Make sure you get inspections, and make sure you are really optimizing your price points, and this table will help you out a lot. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button so you can see next week's FBA video, and I will see you guys later. Bye guys!